Good morning, everyone. My name is Amira Salazar, and this morning I would like to share with you about 5 lessons plans I have been designing during this semester. This video is about the 4 video. I have an interesting topic for this time. This plan class is named literature. Um, I choose this topic since I want to teach my students something new. I would like to teach them about the parts of writing text, so they will be able to identify these parts as well as will be able to learn about different genres, to make a book report and identify hypnosis through a game, with practices or role play, and write their own history with the learned elements. It's very interesting know about war literature, um, about famous writers that have been existed all around the world. Uh, and I would like to motivate them to read. So I am going to invite them to read and make reading a habit for their lifelong. Um, I am going to share with you some supplementary material. I am sharing you in the screen, but I am going to explain that this plan class is designed for a second course baccalaureate with B1 professional level. It lasts 45 minutes, and the main objectives are focusing on writing activities. Um, the last class plan was focused on speaking activities. Now I designed, this is the reason why I have designed this class focusing on writing ones. The main objectives are students are going to identify the parts of our writing text, and they can write their own history, taking the steps that I am going to provide them. The students will be able to use tag questions and use verbs like look, seem, sem, and the students will be able to read about different genres, and to know about this fascinating world of literature. The students will be able to write their own history and will be able to make a book report using the elements of our writing text. I'm going to use direct method, audiolingual, grammar teaching input, the same methods as I use generally all my classes. And the strategies, we are going to use a game. We are going to use a game, and we're going to use visual scaffolding, flashcards, PowerPoint presentation, and work on groups. As anticipatory said, I am going to explain that we're going to talk about literature. And I will begin asking them if they like to read, if they have read a book next month, or I will ask them for about names of famous writers or famous books that they have here. I want do a little review about these stories, and then we are going to begin with a game. This game is named Guess the Story. I will provide them some flashcard. On pieces of card are writing synopsis of famous novels or stories. So I will divide the class on two groups. One group has to read the synopsis, and the other another member of the other group, the other group uh, um, will try to guess what is the title of this book. For example, this story is about a little girl who go to live on the mountains with her grandfather. We are going about what book? Haley. Yeah, and so um, and first they have to read out the synopsis of the story of the other team, and they have 3 attempts to guess the correct tag. If they guess correctly, they win a point, and the team with most points at the end of the game is the winner. This activity will not last more than 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Then I have modeling. I have other activity. Please. We have other activity. The next number 2 is about parts of the writing. Here we have a fragment of the book A Little Woman, a well-known piece of literature. We have to read. We're going to read, and then we are going to identify the basic elements: setting, character, plot, and synopsis. Then the following exercise is about a listening practice. We are going, please. Yes, it's about the podcast. It's about J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling is a famous writer who wrote Harry Potter. I am sure that my students recognize her. Then we are going to hear a program about them, and then we are going to fill the blanks according we listening on the podcast. Then next, we are going other exercise. The next exercise is about writing practices. In the practices, a student must write their own history. I will provide them some rules that are writing on the plan. For example, plan your history by making notes under the following headings: setting, character, plot. Then students have to write the first draft. Then they have to exchange the draft with her classmate, but previously I have they are working on pair groups, and then the pairs make the correction and offer suggestions to improve the first draft. If necessary, the students have to first a second draft or third draft, and then they will write the final version of their story. uh, Assessment, we are going to have a speaking practice by assessment, because I am going to ask students about the topics we have learned, such as the types of genres of literature. Can they mention about the meaning of certain words related to the topic, about the grammar structures, but that are the use of tag questions, for example. So the students, it's really a short assessment practice. For closing review and follow up, as I use all my classes, students are going to have a little language review. Mm, what are have they learned in this class, and then they have a vocabulary review, where not only about words related to the topic, but about genres, most but several types of genres of literature. Uh, I hope this. I think this is one of my favorites design. I love reading. I have been reading since I was a child, and I think it's necessary to motivate the students to improve writing skills, because writing gives them more thinking time. They attempt expertise in conversation, in speaking. Writing activities allow them more opportunities for language processing. That is, thinking about language. Building the writing habit is not easy, because many students think that they cannot write, or they don't like write, or but it maybe it's this is not the fault of the students, because it's it's the teacher have to motivate them and improve. Students lack confidence, and teacher must work on it. But students are very important part in this process of writing. Thank you.